Hello, this is Kean from Football Obsession. That's Harry. We did try to record before, but everything crashed. Harry's Wi-Fi went down, so we're trying it a bit later now. First of all, how are you?
Mate, I'm doing good, fella. I'm good. How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for taking your time out to be on another episode. Harry will probably be on next week as well. Uh, Sorry about that, he just dropped the camera.
There we go. Bleepers already.
This episode's going to be a review of the Euros. We're going to be speaking about just players that have impressed us, teams that have unimpressed, teams that have impressed. Also, how we can possibly, obviously we spoke about it before, but how we can possibly combat the racism on social media that obviously is completely and utterly disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's come to light again, which was, to me, it was expected. Obviously, to non-football fans, maybe like that were watching the game because it was a final, maybe it wasn't so expected because they're not seeing exactly what's going on. But we're just going to get into it. So, for example, England, I'd say we impressed massively. We got to a final for the first time in 55 years, and then they decided to break our hearts. I thought Gareth Southgate. I didn't think Gareth Southgate was the man at first when coming into this tournament. We only won 1 in 7 games despite getting into a World Cup semi-final in the World Cup. But he got us to a final, and it looks like he is the man, despite being a very defensive coach. What do you think about that?
I'm gonna be real here, and I'm gonna say I was never a big fan of Gareth Southgate because at the World Cup when we got to the semi-finals, we're all thinking in our heads, okay, Gareth's doing better than Sam Allardyce, better than Roy Hodgson combined, and he's taking those places. And then we lost to Croatia 2-1. And at that point, I was thinking, oh, okay, it's a bit of a blip. Well, let's see how he does in the Euros. I didn't say this year. And to be honest with you, he is the man. Yeah. And that might sound in the near future, contradicted and you're a bit overused, but I feel like if the England board can give Southgate next summer at the World Cup, and if he does the same thing and gets to the final, let's be, you're gonna have Brazil, Argentina in there, France, Germany, Portugal. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But if Gareth Southgate, if we can even get to the semi-finals, he has proven that he will be the man for the job for many years and years to come. And I just think to myself, we've had some really not crap, but we've had some really, like, what I can't find the word, like inept coaches who like, for example, that Swedish coach. I can't think what his name was.
Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Yes, and if you remember, he tried to fit in Scholes, Lampard, and Gerrard all on the same
so did
team.
Roy Hodgson for a bit as well.
Yes, and I think, wasn't that in the 2002 World Cup? I think it was when he. Yeah, I remember we got beat. I think Brazil knocked out. I think it was.
I can't remember exactly because that was literally like I was born then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not really seeing the highlights.
But I mean, the point is though, is that those type of managers will try and fit in players in their wrong positions. Gareth Southgate, he's had to drop Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Phil Foden, and Grealish for Saka because he believes in himself that the form that Saka was on for England, he had to play him and Sterling in every game. Why? Because they were the two on-form wingers. And one thing though, that's in previous years has been squad depth. Man, I had never seen an attack in international wise with so much depth. We're talking Rashford, Grealish, Foden, Sancho, etc. And even in strikers, Calvert-Lewin, Danny Ings, etc. Harry Kane. We have got so much depth in almost every single position, from goalkeeper to full back to striker. Every position there is cover, and I feel like that Gareth Southgate has used his advantages well, because he hasn't gone. He hasn't gone. Okay, I'll play a 3-4-3. Two wide players of each, two on the left, two on the right. I just gone. Okay, I'll play Saka and Sterling, and Grealish and Sancho. He hasn't done that. He's in a set formation where he's picked the players who he thinks that will win him the game. Like it's Germany, Saka and Sterling ripped Germany apart. You see there two fullbacks. They're getting caught exactly inside out by Saka and Sterling, and even their centre backs. I think it was Hummels and I think Taro. I think it was, and Harry Kane always caught us in back in the field. He had them on the straws, and that's the one thing I like about Southgate is he gives every player a chance to prove himself. I don't know about you, but I mean, I think he's a man.
I think he's the man. In terms of your point, the fact that he gives every player to prove himself, I kind of agree and disagree, because I think he gave Grealish several chances to prove himself and has done. And I thought he should have started or come on earlier. He was good in the first game when he got subbed on and he created that goal. And then obviously that England-Scotland game was a write-off. It was terrible. But then he was good every time he came on, and I thought he should have started more. In terms of Sterling, I think he's been amazing. A lot of people I've seen on Twitter, a lot of people don't really rate him. I rate him, despite being a United fan. I rate him, but with
what it is for Sterling at club level, he doesn't play like he's there yet. But for England, every time he gets on that England shirt, he goes from here to here. And I don't know if you noticed it, but in the last two international tournaments, the World Cup and the Euros, Sterling's always been class. For City. I'm not going to be a biased United on here. I'm being real here. I haven't seen nothing of Sterling at City that showed to me, he's a top 5 winger going the world. But for England, he plays like he's.
Yeah, I personally disagree in terms of the fact being the top 5, because, for example, at United, for example, you see like Martial, for example, not getting many goals. But if Martial was in that City team, he probably would get that many goals as Sterling, because he's got a chance after Sterling's getting 5 balls, well, like 10 balls whipped into him a game. He may miss 7 of them. I'm not saying he will, but he may miss the 7 of them. But he'll score 2. He'll score 2 of them chances most games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why his numbers are so high. You've got Sterling, you've got De Bruyne, you've got Mahrez, you've got Gabriel Jesus when he plays. You had Aguero previously, with giving them balls to Sterling and all these players. Whereas at United, for example, you've not got the Martial, or even in the 2018 World Cup, you had Dele Alli in that. Obviously, he was our star boy at the time, but England's star boy at the time. But personally, I didn't think he was up to it, and that was proved now that he's not up to it by his quality of play. So I sort of disagree. I think Sterling's up there. I think Sterling is elite personally, but I think we would have won that game. You could give the argument we would have won that game against Italy if there was another manager like Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp or even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Some people would disagree with, but I would agree we would have won that game.
I disagree with that. Almost slightly. Because right, if you look at the game as a whole, right, Italy were dirty. City online about that. But let me just say something here very quickly. The only bit of criticism I'll give Southgate is in that shootout. Why would you allow a 19-year-old young kid to take the make or break penalty in a European final? Jack Grealish wanted to take Saka's penalty.
Yeah, Grealish tweeted that, didn't he?
Southgate said no, and Rashford's penalty and Sancho's penalty, understandable. Yeah, okay, he missed it, unlucky. But you can't put all that pressure on a 19-year-old kid's back to take a penalty that the lose you the game like that, or potentially win you the game. Obviously, do you know what it was? De Gea all over again.
Yeah.
Because if you see, Paddy Fat Arnold, De Gea's slow walk up, and
nervous.
I could tell his eyes were not on Rulli. Rulli was literally face on locked on De Gea. De Gea was looking around right and left. He put the ball down, runs up, misses it. Saka does the exact same thing. Doesn't look at Donnarumma. Keeps a straight face at all times. Saka takes it. Donnarumma saves it. Italy win. Get him over. And obviously, Saka is going to be a big emotional. I understand that, but it isn't Saka's fault because Gareth Southgate decides who takes him, who's not. And you can say, oh well, in training it was sick or whatever, right? So if let's say if Wan-Bissaka it's one goal penalty in training, or does that mean he can take the winner and Champions League final? No, it doesn't. You're going to pick your experienced players in the crunch games, like Grealish, like Kane, like even guys like Luke Shaw. He's taken a penalty in a crucial game. They are up pretty final. He's taken them. You know what? At this point, even Pickford was up for it. But of all the players, Saka,
anyone but a 19-year-old kid who has literally never taken. Sorry, go on.
And the thing is, though, that was Saka's first professional career.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
And look, and the fact it's his first one in his whole career, and he misses it.
I was just going to say that.
That must be an absolute stick in the back of your mind, thinking, well, if having a shootout, I'm not taking that penalty, not a chance. And obviously, everyone around felt absolutely sorry for Saka. The racial abuse doesn't even help. Like I was seeing it. No, after the match, Saka, Rashford, so get racial abuse, bro. Yeah. I'm sorry, but what have those three players done done wrong. Okay, you missed a penalty. Okay, but who's your day get?
Even if they had a bad performance, even if they've had a bad season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give an example here. Martial, in my opinion, they've had a bad season. Can you still hear me? Yeah. Sorry, it just froze for a second. Martial, for example, he had a bad season for United. It doesn't warrant racial abuse. Nothing in football warrants racial abuse. Nothing.
It doesn't.
Not even someone being racist to you warrants you being racist to them. Like, it's such a disgusting thing. But the thing is, us football fans, because it's virtually happened every single week during last Premier League season. We expected that to happen. But for people like my mum, who was like really shocked that it was happening, she was sharing a lot of stuff and stuff like that. It was obviously shocking to my mum and my family, like how because they're not watching football every week, and they're not, like, their eyes aren't on stuff like this. But to us, as much as it shouldn't be expected, it is expected, and it's absolutely disgusting.
It is, mate. It is, and it's honest with you. By the way, your camera's froze. By the way.
Okay, sorry for this, guys. I'm just gonna turn my camera off and on.
It should be alright now.
Is that better?
There we go.
Yeah.
I can say, right, like, look at the hair. Europa League final. He misses a penalty. Yeah, okay, he got called shit, but do you have people racially abusing him? Calling him milk or calling him a white prick or something? No. Yes, he being called shit and whatnot. Oh, okay, calm. But he didn't get racially abused.
No.
But if it's Rashford or Martial or Masaka, if they miss a penalty or a game, racism happens. I had to tell my dad, I'm Rashford a penalty. If he misses this, he'll get racially abused. I could see it coming from a mile.
Yeah, of course.
And even after the game, like, the stuff I saw on Twitter, there was a video that came out. 3 white men beating up. I think it was an Asian England supporter. Yeah, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, because this country, like obviously this, it's very hard to explain.
It is.
I put it on my Snapchat story that this isn't just leading from the people who are being racist. This is not leading just from that. This is leading from high-ranking government ministers in this country.
Yes.
This is leading from Boris Johnson and Jacob Rees-Mogg, Matt Hancock when he was in the job, and worst of all, Priti Patel, because I don't understand how she's an Asian woman, but yet she's racist to Asian people, to black people.
Exactly.
Like, she's racist to practically everyone, and I just don't understand. But
she's supposed to work in Parliament to help the country, and yet she's being racist towards our players who put their heart, soul, sweat,
at the start of this tournament. At the start of this tournament, you had high-ranking government ministers, Boris Johnson, saying that he does not condemn people booing when players are taking the knee. So he is for people booing when players are taking the knee. So if you've got that, and then you've got people being racist, you've got to ask, where does it start? Because let's just give an example. Children are influenced by their parents, and it's like that because 52% of this country voted Boris Johnson. Well, 52% of the people that actually voted Boris Johnson in. So if they're going to listen to him, that's where the racism's leading from people like Boris Johnson and Donald Trump in America when he was in charge, and just people like that. You know what I mean?
I get it. And and it's a thing, right? You know what I'm on about. The two prime examples of racism, the one of which we never dealt with. The first one, Fernandez City, I think called a monkey, but by a City fan against
Who did? Sorry.
Fred against City.
Oh, Fred. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, that I remember sat on my chair in my room, watching that game, and I was really triggered.
Yeah.
Fred, like, what has he done to you? Is it abused? And but the prime one that really does grab my gears is Suarez. It's wherever.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Never forget it.
When that happened, I remember I was at Old Trafford by the way for that game. And I remember on that game, yeah, Suarez shook every player's hand apart from everyone. The only black man in our team, I passed him by, and then he calls him the M word. And you're a professional footballer doing that to another athlete of your kind. Like, would you see Harry Kane called him about the M word? No, because it's not right. And that incident never got solved. Suarez didn't get a fine. He didn't get a ban. No one did nothing about it. Why? Because it was a black man. And it's a harsh reality. It is harsh reality. But if that happened in today's game, it'd get dealt with. But back then, if you got racially abused,
you could get banned, but I don't think that was enough. You can get a £25,000 fine, for example, as a footballer. That is nothing. That doesn't touch the sides.
Exactly.
But like, as much as obviously we're both passionate about this, I'm gonna say my views on how social media companies can possibly combat this, and then I'll ask your views on it. But my views are to be able to create a social media account. Any social media, it could be Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, anything. You have to provide. I think you should have to be able to provide personal identification, and that will get reviewed. Otherwise, you can't post, you can't tweet, you can't like, you can't comment, you can't do anything other than that. And then you say, what about the existing accounts that are already being racist? Well, I think you should give them maybe 5 months, 6 months to provide personal identification. And if that does not happen, if they do not provide personal identification, then their account should be, in my opinion, just terminated, like deactivated instantly like that. But it's obviously a very difficult topic, and then you're saying people could bypass it with, for example, VPN, stuff like that. It has to be an identification process where like you have to provide like a passport picture or a provisional driving license, stuff like that. And I think then, if people do want to be racist off of their account, which has got their personal identification on, the police can then track that down, or the social media companies can then track that down, go to their house and arrest them. Because as much as I speak about I am pro freedom of speech, I'm pro this, that is a hate crime. You are personally attacking and, in my opinion, threatening someone by being racist to them. You are saying, I don't like you because bleep, bleep, bleep. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say it because I could possibly get banned off YouTube for saying it, and I won't say it anyway. But if they provided personal identification throughout the global, like globally throughout all social media networks, I think that would be combated. But I don't think that I don't think you can get all companies. I know Facebook own most social media companies. Facebook own Snapchat, Facebook own Instagram, Facebook obviously own Facebook. But if you can get all of them to agree, then that's good. But I don't think you can get all of them to agree because it doesn't benefit them financially. What's your thoughts on that and how it can be combated?
My thoughts on it, I completely agree with you. Here's the thing though, is if that happens, Twitter lose money, Snapchat lose money, Facebook, Xbox, PlayStation, they all do is money. And what do those companies care about most? Money or stopping racism? Or money? It's that.
Of course.
And there are some white people who be like, okay, so if a black guy's racist to me, he won't getting shit for it. No, he will, because he's personally attacking you for no reason. Like let's say some black guy called me
Say bleep because
exactly. That black one is being racist towards me. That means then he can be dealt with. Same with an Asian person. If that person is racist to an Asian person, they get positive person. Same is going to be racist to a black one. They're going to get put in prison.
Of course.
Is for any race, white, black, Asian. If you're racist to one another, you have to pay the consequences.
There has to be consequences, but
exactly.
But like when you're saying, for example, if a black person's being racist to a white person, which can happen, I'm not saying like white people can't be discriminated against. Of course they can, but it doesn't have as much
effect.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much meaning behind it. The history behind it is completely and utterly different.
It is.
Obviously, the way like black people were treated in like the 1400s, for example, it's many years ago, but it goes back to then. It goes back that far.
And even and do you know what it spits in the face of Martin Luther King? That man put his body on the line,
literally,
to end racism.
Literally,
he was a main cause of racism for a long period of time, ending and putting a stop to it.
Of course.
And when I hear people that be racist to black people, that grinds my gears, because then Martin Luther King's work and what he did means nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not because he had iconic "I have a dream" speech.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's be. And I studied history in high school. I sat down and watched the whole speech, word for word. And hearing it myself, I was thinking, so if people have been taught this in high school, and they know that racism's bad, and why are some white people racially abusing black people, and guys like Martin Luther King were put in place to stop racism from happening?
Especially in this country, though. Especially in this country, like obviously racism's a worldwide issue. It is globally, as we've seen over the past year. But in this country, the statistics are, this country is 90% white. Like 90% of the population in this country are white people. Obviously, we're white, but it doesn't mean we don't stand with black people. You know what I mean? We love them all. Harry's just moved. We can't see your face there. Yeah, Harry's just moved his camera so it doesn't shake. Still can't see your face.
I'll minute.
Sorry about this, guys. There we go.
There we go.
So obviously 90% of this country is white, and it's difficult because you've got people in charge of the country who literally are racist. You've got even people higher than them, the royal family, who are. I'm not confirming that they're racist. I don't know because I'm not there, but the rumours are that they are quite racist. The media are definitely. I wouldn't say like football media in terms of like the Sun and stuff like that. Like newspapers, but in terms of like. When there's something about the royal family, they will always stick up for the royal family, even if the royal family are ignored. So obviously, we've seen with what happened with George Floyd last summer. It's a very difficult thing to combat. But I think we've only just touched the tip of the iceberg to fight racism. I think there's got to be education, more education throughout the whole of the curriculum worldwide to be able to combat this eventually. It's going to take a long time, I would say. Possibly not even in our lifetimes. But I just want to say Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka and Jadon Sancho and any other person that's black and that's ever received racial abuse, anyone that's ever received racial abuse in general, we stand with you and we support you. We love you. And we're going to move on to like discussing about more football now in terms of we discussed the England game, but I felt we had to discuss that, and then that'll be it. But what do you feel about? How did you feel about the France game? Did you feel? Because I tweeted about 6 minutes past 7, and my uncle thought it was going to be just a throwaway comment, but but I tweeted France will get knocked out tonight, and. It turned out they actually did. I felt like they just would. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I really would you. I was saying in a group chat that I have with my mates, I was like, it wouldn't shock me if Switzerland pulled one and beat France. And in the first half, France decimated Switzerland. Like.
Well, Switzerland hit them with like a 14th minute goal or whatever it was, which I felt like that. But they dominated possession, obviously, and there was some amazing performances in there. Pogba was amazing. Varane, I thought was amazing. Hopefully, United get him. Come on.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
And, but I'm just to touch on that real quick. Yeah, this might come to bat me back in the back side here, but if Manchester United sign Raphael Varane next season, we'll get a trophy. And this clips, it might be, it might be a banter thing next year. But if you think about then the players they'll have, not only will we have two World Cup winners in our team, I'll have a guy who's won the Champions League back to back in Raphael Varane. And people
unbelievable. That's one of the biggest club achievements in history.
It is, and to think that then he'll be at our club for hopefully 3-4 years. That gets me United fan. I think you as well. Buzzing because we haven't had a centre back like him, like he is in Vidic, and obviously I'm not comparing him to an icon in Manu, but I mean, if we were to get Varane, it made me feel less worried in games because for years defensively we've been shaky, man. We've been very shaky for years. But I mean, Varane in the Euros though, I think it was absolutely superb. Yeah. Him and Kimpembe at the back, they were brilliant, man. And Varane showed me a lot of things in this tournament. He showed me he's good on the ball, on off the ball. His positioning for a centre back is elite. It's not even world class. It is
fast
elite.
as well. He's a lot faster than Lindelof for sure.
Exactly. Yes, he is.
I think Lindelof will be good as a backup, but I just don't think he's good enough.
No,
he may be good enough, but I think that partnership of Lindelof and Maguire will never ever work.
Never work. And you know what, right? Just touch on Maguire. What a campaign,
Euros, yeah, unbelievable.
I've said this numerous times on my channel as well. I've said this multiple times. Harry Maguire is probably a season away from being on Van Dijk's level, and that might sound deluded but from what I've seen of him, especially this season alone. You sent a Snapchat out a couple of weeks ago saying if Maguire played in a final, it would have won it.
Yeah,
and I agreed with you because literally, if we'd had Harry Maguire in that team, it would have won the game.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Your camera just froze for a second then.
Oh, it.
It's fine now. It was fine. Yeah, it's fine now.
Anyway, and you're just personal, mate.
Oh, has it? Sorry about this, guys. Yeah. We're just having some technical difficulties today. Is that better?
Yeah, it's a couple. Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, but I mean, a lot of people question his price tag, and I was one of them in his first.
So was I.
Obviously, he didn't have the best starts, and it was when Hernandez came in. I noticed something in Maguire that really
started to gel.
Exactly, and especially last season, Harry Maguire he
struggled at the end. At the start of last season, due to literally having a fight with a police officer in Mykonos. My centre back.
What a guy!
But yeah, I thought he came on leaps and bounds. Like his mental strength to get over that it's quite a traumatic thing to go through, especially to get arrested in a foreign country. To get arrested here is a traumatic thing to go through.
Oh, it is.
To get arrested in a foreign country where you don't know the language, you don't know anything about the country really, it must be completely traumatic to him. To get over that is unbelievable. It shows massive mental strength. I thought, especially towards when he got injured last season, that's when I started to appreciate him. That's why I was saying, where would we be without this man? Where would we be?
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. And one more United player who deserves the biggest praise, man, Luke Roberto Carlos. I'm going to be the first person to say this. Jose Mourinho, thank you for your criticism, because when Jose dropped Luke Shaw all them years ago,
4 years ago,
I left him on the sidelines of Damian, Ashley Young, Daley Blind, where are they all now?
And he publicly bullied him as well.
Exactly. But let's just take a minute here, right? Damian in Parma, Ashley Young, Aston Villa, Blind, Luke Shaw, still here.
And Daley Blind had two heart attacks and he's still playing 41 games a season. That is amazing.
But on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who cannot say he hasn't improved any player. Let's cut the shit here. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has improved Luke Shaw, Martial, Rashford, Fernandes, Maguire.
Greenwood.
He has basically most of the team.
Yeah.
And I have to be real with you. A lot of people will not admit that, especially the early outers. Are you there, mate?
Yeah. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
No. You froze, fella. You
All
froze.
right,
Yeah.
okay. I'll. Sorry about this, guys. We are
A lot,
struggling today.
a lot of difficulties today.
Yeah.
A lot of difficulties today. Anyway, but I mean, the Outwards won't admit it. They won't admit it, and it's funny because let's just say, right, there was a different Gaffrin, like Allegri Poch, and they were playing well. The amount of praise Allegri get
Oh yeah.
improving them, but because it's a Norwegian manager who who is inexperienced won't get the place. Look, he single handedly improved Luke Shaw, Rashford,
Of course.
Martial, and I feel like next season, right? I had this to my uncle, yeah, fan. I had to him. We've got a left back and a centre back for the next 7-8 years. That's how confident I am. And I know a lot of people who are saying, "Oh no, oh wow, Maguire, he's shit, he's bad." I'm sorry, but I mean, if you're going to go on a call any centre back, shit or bad, Ruben Diaz, and look, what season he had of City, by the way, incredible season, but for Portugal, right? Let's just break it down a little bit here, right? They lost to Germany 4-2. Diaz was at fault for 3 goals out of the 4, and that makes him world class, right? Then again against Belgium, at fault of a goal that lost during the game, and yet people want to say he's on Van Dijk's level. I'm a big hater of Liverpool. I can't stand him trust as much as you can't. But to be on Van Dijk's level, you'd have to have been world class for club and country, which Van Dijk has done. Club and country is even more class. Ruben Diaz hasn't shown me that Portugal yet. Oh, okay. Years and years to prove that.
Oh yeah, he's only 23, obviously, but
exactly. But I was saying to you, I think I said it to you. In the league, there's only one centre back that can even come close to Van Dijk, and it's Harry Maguire, because other people will admit it because of club he plays for the price tag, but. Harry Maguire, if you put him to a world-class centre half like a Varane or a Koulibaly, you will see why we spent so much money on him.
You have to just look at the games against Huddersfield 1-1, the game against Everton when we lost 4-0. The game against there's many games with when we had Phil Jones and Chris Smalling in defence, and we like I know City have had bad defenders like Demichelis, like the other guy, what was his name, the centre back, Otamendi, but we've had it really bad with Chris Smalling and Phil Jones. We've had it like in the Premier League, pretty much as bad as you can get it in the Premier League, and to see the difference, that's why we're saying Maguire's world class, because he's such a massive difference. He probably is world class, but we're gonna go on to like teams that failed to impress. Like you touched on Portugal. For me, Portugal failed to impress in the Euros. They were too defensive. They were too like they weren't even impressive when they beat Hungary 3-0. They were with them 3 goals, but it took them until the 84th minute. They were very slow. They're very like I don't know, something like 2 defensive midfielders.
Lackluster.
Yeah, exactly, lackluster. I know England play 2 defensive midfielders, and I'm not saying England play an amazing brand of football, because we don't. But Portugal just failed to impress. I know Bruno Fernandes had played 84 games in a calendar year, which is unbelievable, unbelievable. So he was tired, and Ronaldo still got the golden boot because he's unbelievable. He like you said, he's got nothing to prove to people, and people are still saying he's not been great. But
Exactly.
I think Portugal failed to impress. I actually think people mentioning why did João Felix not impressing. I said this at the time when he transferred to Atletico Madrid. He transferred for 130 odd million, and I thought he's overrated. I only watched like 2 or 3 games of him. I thought this guy, I don't think he's anything special, and it's turned out he hasn't been.
Yeah.
Renato Sanchez has looked good, by the way. I hope he doesn't go to Liverpool like he's been linked with. Especially now Saul is going to Barcelona. Well, it looks like he's going to Barcelona. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen the news. Griezmann looks like he could be going back to Atletico Madrid. And on to France. You touched on them, and I thought it was very weird because there's been some outstanding performances from France.
Yes.
They just didn't have that spark, and
No.
you can, again, people can say England didn't have that. They didn't. But they just did not have that spark to them. I thought Mbappe was disappointing this Euros, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if he had things on his mind or whatever. Same way I thought Kane was disappointing. I thought Kane was disappointing due to him having a transfer on his mind. He wants out of Spurs, desperate for a trophy. But I just had a feeling France would get knocked out. They didn't impress me in that 1-0 win against Germany. They drew with Portugal, which obviously that you can say that could have gone either way, and you can say, oh, it's a difficult game, which it is. But against Switzerland, as much as they performed unbelievably, Switzerland were just a better team, and Granit Xhaka just bossed that midfield.
Oh, he was excellent for that game. He was superb.
What a goal by Pogba, by the way, and Pogba again proving why United need a CDM to let Pogba go forward. And I said that in a video that I made, the reaction video. But another team that I would say has impressed me is Denmark. Denmark, I think, were running off emotion, hence why they got to the semi-final, and then the emotion just kind of went because they've gone so far, they've been through so much. I'm glad Christian Eriksen looks like he's recovering. Obviously, we still don't know if there's any long-term effects yet. But what's your thoughts on Denmark?
My thoughts are, I know you seen my story at the time. When Eriksen had that difference today in cardiac arrest, I had never seen anything like that live on TV before, and it made me realise a lot more in depth that football's more than a game. And when life's on the line, that game goes. The game don't
matter. It don't matter.
Exactly. And one player who deserves every little bit of my respect, and that's Simon Kjaer. What a hero in such a devastating situation. Like Eriksen's wife got zoomed in on by BBC. Simon Kjaer was there, comforting her, or making her feel okay. And what a guy he was for that. But Denmark overall, I could tell every game that they played, they were playing for Eriksen. Every game they played, they on their mind was him every match, and they played for him for 90 minutes consistently, and that shows why. Or being a team in football, in the sport matters, because if you're a team, on your teammates gets an injury, everything like you as a team want to play for your teammate to make them proud, which Denmark did. And it was so wonderful. Because...
Sorry, can I just interrupt you 1 second? I have clicked the wrong thing. I was making sure we were recording properly, and I've clicked the wrong thing, so my camera may go off. I am sorry. I am sorry, guys. Just bear with me. I was just making sure, because I've had a lot of technical difficulties with videos lagging and stuff like that. So I am just trying to close this now. I'm sorry about this, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to close my editing software now. I apologise for this, guys.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Can you hear me yet? Okay.
Yo, I'm gonna go for a teammate. So
Okay.
I'll afterwards. All right.
Yeah. Can you just wait 5 minutes and then we'll finish it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Just what I say. Obviously, Italy were impressive. Locatelli was impressive. I didn't get why he was dropped.
Italy were absolutely class. And you know what? Chiesa was in my opinion player of the tournament.
Yeah, of course.
For me, because that kid is 21, not even in his prime years, and he ripped apart every team he faced. He ripped apart.
Of course.
Even against us in the final, he was tearing them apart game after game after game. And you know what? Juventus need to put on him a £300 million wage clause. Because I'm telling you right now, whoever gets Chiesa, they will dominate. And I would love in the future to see him in the Premier League because he'd be sensational for any team who got him. He'd be absolutely class. And look, and fair play to Twino, they're a better team on the night. One player who I'm really happy for though in terms of their career is Chiellini.
Same.
The guy's
the
guy's 37. He probably played the World Cup and I think of retire, but I mean for an age he is, he deserved that out of all the Argentine because he's been around this game 100%. For like 20 years and he's been doing it on a consistent basis. He's played with guys like Alessandro Del Piero, Cannavaro. Yeah. That's how good he. Maldini. That's how good he is and was the player. And I feel like not a lot of people say this, but when he retires, he'll be one of the greatest centre backs of our era. I'm being genuine there because Chiellini and Bonucci as a pair have dominated the Serie A for the best part of 10-15 years. They have always been dominating that league. And Chiellini, he is a legend in my opinion. One of the greatest of all time.
And he came out with the iconic quote, "It's the history of the Tottenham."
In the do you know what though? No, but what though? On a kind personal note though, I've always liked Chiellini, even though obviously if Al Sacco, which obviously is controversial, but he's such a down to earth guy. I don't know if you've seen it, but upon the shootout, him and Alaba hugged and because obviously they were gonna take the penalty, and him and Alba hugged and having banter, and that shows me that on the pitch, Chiellini, when he's in his game and in his element, yes, he's aggressive, but as a person, he's got
that Ronaldinho like vibe. Not obviously no one can replicate Ronaldinho and his vibe, but like sort of vibe like that.
Exactly, and he's a really down to earth guy, and he is a Serie A icon in my opinion.
100%.
He will go down where the statue at Juventus. He'll have a statue outside that ground because him and Buffon, in my opinion, are two of the greatest Italian players to ever grace.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Football.
And massive congratulations to Italy.
Massive. And you know what? At the World Cup, they're a favourite to win it, simply based upon this tournament.
Yeah.
They are going to the World Cup the favourites to win it. Italy and Argentina are my two favourites to win it. And now two.
France are my favourites, but we look forward to that. It's going to be a different World Cup because it's going to be in the winter. It's going to be at Christmas time, the World Cup. But massive congratulations to Italy. Harry's got to go for his tea now, so enjoy your tea, Harry.
Yeah.
Have a nice evening. This has been Kean. This has been Harry. We'll leave his link to the channel down below, and we're out.